episode 4 of Mobile Suit Gundam GQ. GC? GQ. Most likely GQ. And I gotta say, I actually love this one. I really do. They did something, and I talked about this last episode. I mean, last recording I did. But you see a little bit more. I'll bring it up in a minute. But with this episode, you see a little bit more of the main character chasing after the boy. In this particular scene, they talk about wanting to go to Earth. He wants to go to Earth, or at least the Gundam he pilots wants to go to Earth. And she was like, "Yeah, I want to go to Earth too." Clearly, she's chasing she's chasing the boy, right? Clearly, and I hope they don't do this. I hope, and I'm pretty sure they won't because it's Japan. But hopefully, what they don't do is like, oh, she's only chasing after the boy, but now that she's matured and got older and everything, or like have some time has passed, she's not doing any of that anymore. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with chasing after someone you love. I mean, yeah, it's like puppy love at first, but some people have met their significant other by just love at first sight. Deli, thank you very much for the follow over on Kick. Some people have chased they found their first love just first sight. It has happened, and I hope that they do it with this. I hope that they don't just like do something like, oh, that's kind of love is cliche. Let's throw that out the window. She's still maturing. I'm like, really? Because how many times has Eureka 7, right? Or it's spelled Eureka 7, where Renton, the main character, chased after the girl, Eureka, and he eventually got the girl. I mean, granted, I know we all want to see something like Chowder, Penelope, Panini? No, it's Penelope. I don't know. Panini or Penelope, she's a slippery slope going to jail and sitting in the jail cell right next to what's her face from Bob's Burgers. The older sister, her. Louise, maybe. I feel like they can't keep Louise in jail. Anyway, we're getting off topic. You also they I don't know if any of you Gundam heads know who the witches are or something like that, but here's one of them. Apparently the witches are these very skilled mech pilots. Now, her problem, chat, is that she wants revenge. She doesn't look like she's the type to want revenge, but she deeply wants revenge. She's obsessed with it. And what makes it bad is that she has a family, right? She has a son and a husband. But she's so obsessed with revenge, she's willing to risk it all. Risk it for the biscuit, as some would say. They shouldn't say that. That's offensive to bagels. Anyway, they should really, think about their family, but they don't. Those types of characters, those types of individuals who's got so much but still want so much more. It's hard to say, chat, what's good or what's bad nowadays, I guess. If you had $99, wouldn't you want to try to find at least one more dollar to make it 100? Or would you lose it all because you're greedy? Say, look, I'm not greedy. I just want to round it out. Anyway, you see some more girl chasing the boy. She's very curious of who he is. He's very curious, and I think that's pretty awesome because I had very strong misconceptions about it. I forced myself to start watching it because I needed just to see with my own eyes. But when I saw it, I'm like, oh, female main character. They're probably gonna do something like, I don't know. I prefer a male main character, but this is actually turning out better than I thought. Like completely better than I thought. It did a 180. That's why we're doing this, right? A lot of people will pass this up. And I know that you will. So showing you a little bit of this kind of gets you in the mood to. You're like, you know what, Candy? I'm actually gonna go watch it. Like, oh really? Yeah, I will. It's not doesn't have anything to do with me like keep you in the cage until you watch it. No, right? Nah, that's not it. Oh, okay, great. Whew, that would have been weird. Also, something to keep in mind while you're going through the series, she does this thing where she does handstands. I don't know what that's about. I hope it comes up, or it could also be cool if they just never bring it up. It's just something she does throughout the whole thing. It's like no, I guess there's no other way of referencing it. Actually, if she just does that throughout the whole series and they never bring it up, that'd be interesting. In a sense that it's more unique than anything else. I could see that. would it be better character development if they explain why she is doing that, or would it be better character development if they never explain why she does that? It's just a thing. It's a quirk. Kind of like I've been watching Konosuba. I was watching Konosuba, and I was watching it in dub. I was watching it in dub because I already seen it in sub. So I'm like, I'll just binge watch it a little bit. And there's this one character who had this tick. She always like clicked her teeth because she was like a bad guy, like secretly, like wild candy. You just spoil it. Like spoiler alert, no spoiler alert or nothing. Look, I'm just trying to get my point across. But yeah, they might just never maybe that's how she de-stresses, chat. Do a little bit of handstand, let the blood rush to your head a little bit, or she's trying to like get her balance in order. I have no idea. I have no idea. But I don't know. I thought this episode actually made me, what was it? Oh no, I didn't have to think about that. This episode actually made me think about, because I think I got my topics mixed up from like last episode, chat. Give me a second. Oh yeah. Okay, so no, I didn't get it mixed up. So this episode had me sitting in my seat with my eyes open, like, this is intense. I didn't even feel this way about Solo Leveling. I didn't feel this way about Freerin. I didn't feel this way about some other third thing. That's a SpongeBob reference. And this episode actually made me think like, oh my gosh, because the action scenes, I don't know, maybe it's just fighting robots. I think that's what it is. But this episode was so intense that it made me look at other anime with different goggles, if that makes any sense. Because I don't even think what's it called, Dragon Ball was this intense for me. Well, no, actually, I'll take that back. That was a complete lie. Kid Buu was a menace. That Kid Buu was a menace. Dragon Ball is just intense, chat. And that's what I kind of felt with this. Not even kind of, by the way, a lot. I'm like, a scene, like an anime is good, or an action scene is good. I compared to Solo Leveling or Freerun, for me personally, the intensity was like 10 out of 10. All the other anime were like, I don't know, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10. I know those are some fighting words for a lot of folks. And I'm not saying that Freerun or Solo Leveling are bad. They're both great anime. I love them. But I'm saying this particular episode had me sitting back in my seat, eyes wide, not blinking while I'm watching. I know, because I caught myself not blinking. When I was watching Freerun or Solo Leveling, I was blinking. I'm like, okay, all right. They're probably going to beat they're probably going to beat the bad guy. The bad guy's probably not going to get away. But in this episode, I'm like, oh my, there's so much at stake here. Even though there's not much at stake, there's so much at stake. And like, it's like, what's going to happen? The fight scenes, I think this is what people were talking about with that one anime. They say someone was saying how it's got a manga. It used to be a manga, or whatever they called South Korean manga, or whatever they call South Korean manga. They were saying how the fight scenes were bad and all this stuff. I thought it was fine. But what I did notice that you should probably not listen to the naysayers about certain anime, because when they do that, when you go to watch it, you can't help but think about what they're saying, right? So now every time I watch that anime, I am subconsciously thinking about the negative things. I'm looking for the things that they say that's negative. I'm like, when I should just be enjoying it for what it is. Now, the flip side to that, if I watch something like Snow White, the flip side to what I just said, and I think that's a good argument. I don't know, chat. I like when I have a point on something, I like to see if I can find a other side to that coin kind of thing, because I heard somewhere, but if you can't argue the other side, you're ignorant. How true is that, chat? If you can't argue the other side, you're ignorant. However, I wouldn't want to argue the other side of a bullet in the head either. So it's kind of, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of, poke some holes in that, literally. So no, Candy, Warzone is great. Like, I don't know, it's very loot simulatory. Like, I don't know what I'm saying, chat. But episode 4, chat, I would give it a 10 out of 10 of intensity. It's they got some action going on here, and she brings in the bacon right here, the action bacon. Yeah, because she was tearing it up on the battlefield. She was tearing it up. She shouldn't be doing that though, because she has a family. But that revenge, chat, that revenge, they it makes people do crazy things. It does, it does. Anyway, chat, on with the rest of the show.